inspiration, education, action. This is the Seeds to Success Show with Ben Godinez on Money 105.5.
Welcome back to the Seeds to Success Show. I am your host and Insurance 101 guy, Ben Godinez with Gateway Insurance Group. Take the if out of life and learn to live. We've got Jen Barna in the studio. She's back from Arizona. And we've got Chris Beaty, the founder of Lighthead Threads, on the phone with us, sharing about how he started the startup company. And as we're going to get into segment 2 here, you'll see the sacrifice that it takes to actually start a company from the ground up. So, Chris, talk to us a little bit about, let's be organic, let's break down the walls, let's be a little vulnerable here, and let's talk about some of the struggles in pursuing your passion. Where do you start financially, emotionally? Like, what goes into day one?
Well, day one, it all starts with an idea, and without an idea, you don't have anything. So it starts with an idea, and from there you just have to take action. And one action leads to another, and before you know it, you are where we are today.
That's huge. Take action.
Isn't that what we hear? Isn't that a common theme of all the entrepreneurs that we've talked to, of all the people who've kind of stepped away from what they were doing and getting into what they are doing? They get this idea. They birth an idea. Mm-hmm. They have to nurture it and feed it and really go with it and let the creative juices flow, and then they take action on it.
That's the difference right there between the 80-20 rule, the 80%. Everybody has ideas. Everybody thinks that they're the first one that is going to invent something new, but really it's more like the 5%. It's the 5% of people that actually take that first step, like Chris did with the stickers. The sticker was the first thing that he put down out in the public. Was like, this is my brand.
And Chris, one thing, what's the next step? Usually when you get the idea, you start to take action. So it may have been a design, right? And you may not have necessarily known what was the next step in the business, but you had this design. You said, hey, I want to do a sticker. You took action then to figure out how to do that. And once you started to take action to figuring out what the next step was, then I'm assuming, I would love to hear that it just kind of happened. You found the right person, or you found the right thing, or you found the next step to take. Is that correct?
Yeah, that's exactly right. I started with the sticker, and I just started handing them out, putting them up everywhere. Everybody was really digging the logo and what it stands for. And then, I was like, all right, well, now it's time to make a shirt. Now it's time to wear it. Now it's time to get out there. And, just doing a little research, finding out how I could produce that. I even went as far as to purchase some screen printing equipment myself, just so I can learn the craft. And I found out quickly that it was a pretty messy endeavor, and I didn't really have the space for it at the moment.
All right.
But I wanted to learn it, and I think that's an important step, is understanding what I'm seeking out to do.
And what I love about that is you didn't have to know how to do it. You went out and tried it. You quickly realized, you know what, maybe this isn't the part of the business that I really need to know or want to know, but I do know how to do it now. I know that I don't want to do it now. So then you go out and hire someone who can do the things that you don't like to do, right? And
exactly.
That gives you more time and energy to do the things you like to do. Now, if somebody would have told you, oh man, now it's you don't want to learn that, or hey, the way to be successful is you have to learn this part of it. I'm sure that there would be people along the way who haven't done what you're doing and want to give you advice. And then there are those who you probably sought out on, well, how do we make this happen? How did you do it so that I can do it or do it better?
Yeah, exactly. You have to always kind of shun away the naysayers, and just seek out words of encouragement, and look for mentors in those who have been successful in the path that I'm following. And those are the stories that you want to listen to and take away information from. Like, even if you do stumble along the way, just like I invested a bunch of money in the screen printing equipment, and now it's not being used at the moment, but would I take it back? No, I plan to, it's a passion of mine.
Right. It was part of the process.
Right. I think what was really key of what you said there, Chris, was that you sought out counsel. You sought out people that have done it before you or that can give you positive encouragement. And we talked about that a few weeks ago on our show, but that's what we call a mastermind group. You know, it's as Jen said earlier, it's getting the juices flowing. You get other two minds together that are in a spirit of harmony, that both are going towards the same purpose, and all of a sudden new ideas start flowing. You know, new creative ideas of how to market it and how you can brand yourself and who you want to reach out to get you to the next level. You know, you never know who the next person's going to be that's going to help you out. You know, you may not even met them yet, but being open to that. And, you know, as they say, it's 6 degrees of separation. I like to think it's more like 2 degrees of separation if you seek out the right people, right? So who are some people that have come alongside you that kind of be ambassadors? You don't have to name names specifically if you don't want, but like, you know, has there been people that have really been ambassadors for you along the way?
Well, I have friends that help me with design. You know, just surrounding myself with other good people that encourage me and people that, you know, are willing to help along the way. Just surrounding myself by good people. That's been the biggest thing. You know, my girlfriend, she has been lovely. She has helped me at all the events that I've been at. My mom has helped me. You know, just friends.
Supporting you. People
Yeah.
surrounding yourself.
Supporting cast.
Yeah.
Surrounding myself with the best people.
Exactly. Now, what have you had to sacrifice, though? Like, what have you had to, you know, kind of take back from your comfortable bubble of what you may have been living before in order to, you know, get this dream out on paper?
Well, you know, it's a lot of work. I do everything myself. I'm doing the social media marketing. I'm designing. I'm paying for everything. I'm trying to find the events. So it doesn't leave me a lot of time to just relax. And I'm always thinking about what I should be doing next to, you know, to get to the next level. So I have to give up, you know, a little bit of leisure time to do these things. But I'm hungry, and I want to get to the next level.
I like that. I'm hungry. Yeah.
God, it's a good feeling to get hungry, right?
Yeah. Like I was before the show today. Jen was graceful enough to bring me in a protein bar because I was like literally shaking because I forgot to eat lunch before I came here. But I know that feeling. You're just like, I have to do this. I have to. You know, things that keep you up at night, right? It's your passion.
So at this point, are you willing, you say you're willing to sacrifice more time for the success of your business. And for you, that's a fair exchange.
Yeah, you know, because when I'm out there and I'm at events with people, creating these experiences, and I see the reaction from people, and people tell me that they are, you know, support what I'm doing. It's a really good feeling, and I want more of that. And just that when I see somebody out there wearing my garments, it's a great feeling to know that they are supporting what I'm doing and what the brand is about.
Right.
That's all I've ever wanted.
Right. And I mean, that's what I love about the idea behind Lighthead Threads is that it's about ideas. It's about putting yourself out there and doing what makes you happy. That's what the brand stands for, and I can get behind that, right? And so that's what it represents, and then you're doing that. Like, you're just a living example of what the brand is. One thing that I really love about what Khalif said at our Dream Life Academy event last week, for those of you guys that couldn't make it, instead of just asking yourself, what is your life purpose? He asked, what is your life service? So what are you doing to service other people? Because your income is in direct proportion to how much service you offer to other people, right? You can have the greatest idea in the world, but if the product serves nobody, you will then in turn not make any money because of that. So what is your life service? And what you're doing behind the brand is you're feeding people's ideas and their passion through this clothing brand. So that's what I love about it, you know, and talking about sacrifice, we all have to give away something in order to gain something. At least I feel like that's the way that the energy and the kind of the universe works is, you know, for what you love, you have to be willing to give it away. And so it's in proportion to what you sacrifice as to what you'll gain. You know, the more that you sacrifice, the more that you're going to gain. Right now, everybody's asking me why I'm selling my car. Like, it's a nice car. It's a, you know, beautiful car, and what we're having to do, we're selling it to get out of debt so I can put more money towards my passion, which is this show and my business, because it's worth it. It's worth it, and you're doing that, Chris. So we got a couple more minutes here in this segment. Tell us a little bit more about the obstacles that you've faced and how you've overcome them.
Well, the other obstacle, is trying to find a balance between my career and my passion, my clothing business. And I'm doing very well in my career. I want to advance, but at the same time, I want to grow, and it's a give and take. I've been fortunate to be land a pretty good job that allows me the time to dedicate to my business and not be working around the clock, not be working weekends, and have management that is very supportive of what I'm doing, and very blessed to be in this position.
So you work a full-time job, and this is your side job. This is your passion. Is that what we're to understand here? Because I don't think that was given to the audience at first. And I want people to know that, you know what, that enriches your life so much more when you can embrace that want and that need and feed that idea that you have, and you're doing it. You're making it work. And, you're working your regular job, and then you're coming home, and you're putting your time and effort into this. But it gets you up. It gets you going. It gets you excited. And that, my friends, is what adds to our fulfillment in life.
That's absolutely right. I'll leave you with this quote here as we come to the end of the second segment here. Every failure brings with it a seed of an equal advantage. And so pursue your passion, fail forward. We'll be back here on the Seeds to Success show with Chris Beaty from Lighthead Threads.